News and information 570 AM.
96.3 FM HD2. KLIF Dallas. KSCS FM HD2 Fort Worth. KLIF.com.
A Cumulus station.
Now, from the 5th floor Cumulus Studios in downtown Dallas, it's time for Inside Real Estate. Here's your host, Michael Kruizinga.
Good morning, Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. It is Saturday. No, it's Sunday. What day is it? September 27th, 2015. It's Inside Real Estate. Mike Kruizinga here, your local Dallas-Fort Worth area realtor. Welcome. Come on in. Stay a while. We're going to be talking all things real estate this morning. As always, we're going to talk a little bit of mortgage and insurance and a little title talk as well, all things that go along with the real estate transaction. Coming up at 8:15, we got J.C. Harder here's in studio with J.C. Harder Goosehead Insurance. That's going to be coming up at 8:15. Coming up 8:26 or so, we're going to be talking with our ladies, Angela Crane and Brooke Owen from Millennium Title. And we're going to be talking Big D, and I don't mean Dallas. So if you got caught up in that Ashley Madison scandal, well, you might want to pay attention to that segment. And by the way, if you did get caught up in that, you're probably going to need to sell some real estate and buy some real estate, so you better give me a shout about that. We'll take care of you. And coming up at the end of the hour, 8:45 or so, we're going to be talking with Terry Wagner. She's in studio with Supreme Lending Rockwall, the Rocky Martin team. So we're going to be chatting with her about mortgage. You want to call in, 888-787-KLIF, 888-787-KLIF. Give us a shout if you want to talk to us. And the website, InsideRealEstateRadio.com, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. You can always connect there with us and all of our partners. And don't forget to download our app in your smarty phone out there in either Droid or Apple. You can just search DFW Metroplex Real Estate, DFW Metroplex Real Estate, and you can pick up our app and connect with us right there for everything, all your real estate needs. So it's been a really busy week out there. The Pope's in town this week, and the president of China was in town this week, and John Boehner is out this week. It has been a wild and crazy week. If you read a lot of books like I do, and especially those mystery thrillers, you see the president of China coming to town and the Pope coming to town. You're like, oh, wow, that's a setup for a good plot in a book right there. But, the president of China came into Seattle, was here for the 8th annual Internet Industry Forum, meeting with 30 of the top executives here in the U.S., including Warren Buffett, Tim Cook over at Apple, Amazon head, Jeff Bezos was there. Notably absent was the Google CEO. Of course, Google's been banned over in China since 2010, so the Google CEO did not make it. Facebook banned over there in China, but Mark Zuckerberg did make it over there. And he actually speaks a little bit of Mandarin, if you didn't know that, and was able to catch up with the president of China briefly, as we understand. We all want to know, did he ask when Facebook's going to be in there? I'm guessing he did. So that's pretty interesting. A lot was going on. The Pope's been here all week over on the other side of the country. Today's last day, just heading out. And then interesting enough, John Boehner is a Catholic, but he's out this week. So just a lot going on out there this week. Really, really crazy week. Let's get into this day in history, folks. Let's go all the way back to 1540. Society of the Jesuits, founded by Ignatius Loyola. By the way, our current pope is a Jesuit, and so I wanted to bring that out there. Staying on the Pope line, 1590 this day in history, Pope Urban VII. He died 13 days after being brought in as the Pope. That was the shortest reign of papacy in history. That was back in 1590. Let's go back to 1908. Henry Ford, first Model T, leaves the plant in Detroit, Michigan. 1908, first Model T. And coming back to 1954, The Tonight Show premiered. Now, that was with Steve Allen. Most of you are not old enough to remember that. I am not either. But Steve Allen started the Tonight Show. He ran 2.5 seasons. Then it bounced over to Jack Parr, which I don't remember either because I wasn't old enough. But, of course, I do remember the great Johnny Carson, who ran for about 30 years. And the Tonight Show turned into what it is now. You got, of course, Jay Leno, then Jimmy Fallon. So that's this day in history. Back in 1954, Tonight Show premieres. So, folks, what's going on in real estate? Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about staging. Had this question come up a number of times lately, and when to stage, when not to stage, what is staging, and so I meet with folks looking to list their house. They're saying, I heard all about this staging thing, and what do I need to do, etc. And if the house is occupied and it's being lived in, well, obviously it's already staged to a degree because all your furniture and everything is in place. I think the big thing for staging when you're actually living in the home is declutter. Declutter the property and get it nice and clean. You'd be surprised. We come into some of these houses and they're kind of an absolute wreck. And we all know that they're lived in, but we just need to kind of clean them up a little bit. So clean the kitchen up, clean the closets up. Move everything into the garage if you need to as far as the clutter goes, and get your stuff ready. Now, if the property is not occupied, if it is vacant, then that's really where staging kind of comes in. Like if you've got to get out of Dodge, you've got a relocation for your job, and you're heading to another state, heading to another town, and you've got to get everything out of there, and it's going to be an empty property, then that's when staging really comes in. However, if your property is, say, under 3,000 square feet or so, then staging is not all that necessary because all of the rooms in your house are very obvious as to what they are. You walk into the formal dining area, well, it's obviously a formal dining area. You walk into the game room, it's obviously a game room. Walk into a media room, it's obviously a media room, bedrooms, etc., etc. Now, if you start getting above 3,000 square feet and really more above 4,000 square feet in your size of property, then you start running into there are rooms in the property, and you're thinking, what in the world do we do with this space? Then, at that time, it's a good idea to think about going ahead and staging. And you can do that in a number of ways. You can bring a company in to stage it for you. We know plenty of those here in the DFW area. Just get with us. We can take care of that for you. And that way we can put pieces in place that actually show the functionality of a particular space in the house. And we're not talking about the obvious stuff, but sometimes when people walk into a house and they see a huge sectional in a particular living area, living space, it helps them visualize with their own furniture. And people always do that. When reviewing properties with home folks, they're always thinking, does my furniture fit in here? Is the master bedroom big enough for my huge master bed? They think about these types of things. Am I going to have to downsize because of this master bedroom to a queen size bed? And that could absolutely be a deal breaker. So staging, yes, absolutely, it can be important. Obviously, the property's occupied. You're kind of stuck with staging with your own furniture. But if it is not, if it is a vacant property, you got some options there. Under 3,000, 4,000 square feet, probably wouldn't spend the money to do that. Because I've seen costs for a property cost out at anywhere between $600, maybe a couple $1,000 to stage a property that's renting the furniture, having somebody move it in there, and then move it out. at that time. Now, of course, there are plenty of vendors that will take payment at closing, similar to our folks at Ideal Floors who do a deal with us where they can get paid at closing. So those options are there for you. 3,000, 4,000 square feet, you're getting bigger than that. That's where I would recommend it, so we can show people when we're showing the property what the space really is all about. So there you go. There's my 2 cents on staging. And, by the way, folks, our brokerage is just a stone's throw away from the studios here at the AAC Victory Plaza area. We're over in Uptown, the Chris Arnold Premier Brokerage. And you've heard our ads all over talk radio. If you listen to the other big talk radio programs during the week, for example, Glenn Beck and all the others during the week, you hear our guaranteed sale ads. And, we get a lot of questions about what is your guaranteed sale. And we're going to get into that. And basically, I'll try to give it to you in a nutshell, but we'll get back to it a little bit later on in the show as well. But, folks, we can guarantee your sale because we have an in-house purchasing company. Let's say we market your home, we can't get it sold in a particular time frame that we agree upon. Well, guess what? We have an in-house purchasing company that can buy that property from you. There's not a lot of agents or brokerages that have that kind of access in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We are one of a very few that can do that for you. So if you've heard those ads all over talk radio, yes, that is us. So give us a call. We'll talk more about our guaranteed sale program, and I'll get you a little more information about that hopefully later in the show if we can get to it. Folks, it's Inside Real Estate with Mike Kruizinga. We'll be right back in a few.
The J.C. Harder Insurance Agency in Uptown Dallas has nearly unlimited resources when it comes to getting you the best insurance rates and policies for home, auto, and more. As part of the Goosehead Insurance brand, you, the consumer, have the power of choice through the J.C. Harder Insurance Agency Network. For a quote today on all your insurance needs, stop by J.C.'s office on McKinney Avenue in Uptown Dallas. Call 214-643-6108 or visit jcharderagency.com. That's 214-643-6108 or jcharderagency.com.
Sellers, how would you like your home sold guaranteed? Buyers, how would you like your bid guaranteed to win? Well, it's real simple. Call Mike Kruizinga with Chris Arnold Premier Realty and ask about their guarantee programs for both buyers and sellers. No one beats Mike's professional listing and marketing services for all price ranges, including luxuries and ranches. And few have the knowledge and patience to take first-time buyers from renting to home ownership in a tough market. Visit DFWMetroplexRealestate.com and mention you heard this on the radio. And listen to Mike Sundays, 8 a.m. on KLIF for Inside Real Estate.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey folks, Mike Kruizinga here. We're back with Inside Real Estate. Come on in, stay a while. We are about to head on into our insurance segment. In studio, we've got J.C. Harder from the J.C. Harder Goosehead Insurance Agency here this week to give us all the latest and greatest in insurance. Phone number where his folks are always standing by, 214-643-6109, 214-643-6109 to catch up with JC, Patty, and his team. By the way, the website is jcharderagency.com, jcharderagency.com. JC, welcome into the show. How's it going?
Everything's going great. Good morning. Happy Sunday, everybody.
Happy Sunday. More football today. So what are we talking about today? We always learn something amazing and interesting from JC, and I'm excited to see what we're going to learn today.
Thanks, Mike. We're going to break down, there's so many different insurance companies out there, and they write so many different insurance type of policies, related to the home insurance side. And we just want to focus on the two main differences between the policies, which would be an open risk policy versus a named risk policy. The number one misconception out there is that all policies are created equal. In my world, a lot of emails come through like, we want to compare this apples to apples, what we currently have, not apples to oranges. And it's just not that easy, especially, you might have some rotten apples, compared to gold apples, then that's not a true comparison. So,
Right.
Really just break it down. And again, that's the benefit Patty and I, provide at Goosehead Insurance is we represent so many different companies. We know the ins and outs of every single, company that we write for. and all the competitors as well too. So in the situation that you have an open risk or a gold apple type policy and it's really good premium, then by all means take that. You have something well, and we'll get the next one in a sense.
Sure, absolutely.
So we're going to break it down to, in insurance, it's two components of it. It's what is covered and how much is covered. We're going to focus on the what is covered today, and that's the difference between the open risk and named risk. And again, without the license, without doing it day to day, insurance is a different language. So always try to make it as easy as possible and put it in English, so the everyday consumer, comprehends as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to get the information out there in a way that we can digest it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll break it down. Okay, so the named risk policy that I mentioned off basically names off what you're covered for. So in your policy jackets, it's going to give you, typically anywhere from 7 to 15 perils or 7 to 15 type of losses that you're covered for. So most commonly wind, hail, fire, theft, vandalism, electrical surge, get into your sudden accidental water damages and things like that. However, the more preferred option out there is called an open risk or an open peril policy. And instead of them naming off what you're covered for, they're basically just going to say that you're excluded for these couple things. That's the same exclusions on every single policy, every single company in the state. But outside of these exclusions, then you're covered.
So that's giving you a much broader spectrum of, because the potential perils are limitless, I should say. So that's probably a better way to go.
Absolutely. And even what the open risk extends to is, a couple different examples, but more than anything else, just human defect, accident or stupidity coverage in a sense, where, a real life example is, on an open peril policy, if you kick over a bucket of paint while doing some painting and ruin all your flooring, that's something you can claim on an open peril, whereas on the named risk, they're not going to cover that because kicking over paint is not in the policy jacket.
Right, because there was only those 7 or 15 few items. So this could be great for a klutz. Was that right?
Yes, exactly. It also, I like to call it the sleep well at night policy. Instead of you having to worry about what things you're covered for, it's okay. You have everything outside of the common exclusions.
Yeah, because anything and everything can happen at any time. That's why I always say you don't need it until you need it, but you better have it.
More than anything else, it basically leaves out the subjectivity to a claim. So when your adjuster's out there assessing the damage, he doesn't have to, if on an open peril policy, he doesn't have to find out if it was the wind damage or collapsing or falling objects. Okay, it's open peril. It's not an exclusion. Here's your claim checked. Where on that named risk, where falling objects might not extend, but, weight of ice, sleet, or snow is covered, it's just you don't want to you hope you get a good adjuster, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now let me ask you this. So you don't hear a lot about this, and folks, that's why we love having JC and Patty in here, because they bring all these things to light that we don't think about, don't know about. I'm guessing for an open peril policy that a lot of people aren't going to bring that to light. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes, and it's it's not your fault that you don't know. Like if you're a company that's not selling an open peril policy, then you're not going to mention that because you're limited and you're selling the named peril. So obviously they know that an open is better. But coming to an independent agency like myself, specifically with Goosehead, about 85 to 90% of all the homeowners we have that open risk policy.
That's great.
So the people that have the named risk, fully disclosed, agreed upon, it's their best interest right now, and we're on the same page that way. But at claim time, there's no surprises.
Got you. And so it's definitely going to be in the favor of the consumer to be in the open peril category, which in a lot of folks, and I'm in that same category where I'm not really thinking about this type of thing, but I need to be in that category so that I'm covered for potentially anything. Or if I'm just a klutz and I walk around knocking everything over, hurting myself, then I want to be in that category as well.
Absolutely. And again, a benefit to Goosehead and our agency is the majority of our carriers only offer the open peril policy. So, and typically, the price is right there as well. So better coverage, less money, win-win for everybody.
Absolutely. And that was my next question. Is there a price difference in those two?
So the couple companies that do offer the named risk and the open, they will, yes, the open risk is more expensive. But again, you get what you pay for, and it might be $5 a month more, it might be 15. Either way, that's on you and your budget and,
Right.
Coverage details there. But the majority of our carriers, we're going to sell that open risk as much as possible.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense for the consumer, 100% to be in that category. If you're not in that category, I don't know why you wouldn't be, unless, of course, your budget just is so tight that you need to kind of get to the cheapest option possible. But like you say, you get what you pay for. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Now, the very kind of last little tidbits of it is on this named risk type of policy, the burden is on the insured or policyholder to prove one of the named perils, whereas on the open risk, the burden is on the insurance company, to prove that it's not excluded. So again, just all in all, leave such subjectivity out of a claim, just a better experience, and typically quicker payouts as well.
Right. So really, it's absolutely cut and dry in the named risk policy. It's either in there, it's in the jacket, and if it's in those categories, boom, it's done. Whereas open, you're good to go, you're covered. Obviously you have to think about deductible, what to claim, what not to claim with deductibles. But in the open side, you are covered, you are good to go. So it sounds like that is the way to go to me.
Absolutely.
All right, folks, you know what? We just learned about open risk versus named risk, and I didn't know a lot about that at all. I just learned a lot. I hope you guys learned a lot out there. So all of your insurance needs, folks, look, you need to go to JC and Patty. They are the absolute experts in insurance for all your insurance needs. Phone number where they are always standing by, 214-643-6109, 214-643-6109. Website, jcharderagency.com, jcharderagency.com. You can always go to Inside Real Estate Radio, connect over from there as well. Thank you, JC. It's been amazing as always. We learned a lot. Folks, we will be right back with Inside Real Estate. We'll see you in a few.
Millennium Title Carroll PC Real Estate is a unique multi-service real estate title, law, and real estate investment firm that handles over 150 commercial and residential closings each month. Their real estate, legal, and tax services range from purchases to refinances to short sales and reverse mortgages. They can handle all of your real estate, legal, and tax planning needs. Their experience offers clients and investors a comprehensive perspective in managing their real estate law and investment needs. Visit txtitleattorney.com, that's txtitleattorney.com, or call 817-310-0136.
With decades of experience, the Rocky Martin Supreme Lending Team will work to close your home loan in 30 days or less. With access to the most competitive interest rates, the most financing options, and the most access to down payment assistance programs, the Rocky Martin Team won't be beating service to you for all your mortgage needs, including purchase and refinance. Trust RockyMartin.com and his team for their reliable and fast loan process. Go to RockyMartin.com or call 972-772-1866 today.
For housing lender, NMLS ID number 211731, 6730 Horizon Road, Suite B, Heath, Texas 75032.
Millennium Title Carroll PC Real Estate is a unique multi-service real estate title, law, and real estate investment firm that handles over 150 commercial and residential closings each month. Their real estate, legal, and tax services range from purchases to refinances to short sales and reverse mortgages. They can handle all of your real estate, legal, and tax planning needs. Their experience offers clients and investors a comprehensive perspective in managing their real estate law and investment needs. Visit txtitleattorney.com, that's txtitleattorney.com, or call 817-310-0136.
All right, folks, welcome back. It's Inside Real Estate with Mike Kruizinga. It's time for another great segment of Title Talk. We've got Brooke Owen, Director of Marketing from Millennium Title, and Angela Crane in studio, Escrow Officer from Millennium Title. Websites are millenniumtitle.com and txtitleattorney.com. Phone number 817-310-0136. And we're going to talk about a fun topic today. We're going to talk about divorce.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And how that impacts the selling of real estate. And I think we got a funny story from Brooke here. I've got some funny stories as well. I don't know if we're going to get to all of our stories, but Brooke and Angela, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, there's always a lot of interesting stories when it comes to divorce and then exchanging property and all that goes along with sometimes what happens in a divorce. So, we one time had a couple coming in to close on a property. They were selling a piece of property and came into the closing room. And always, Angela, you know, what is the first thing we ask for when people come into the closing room?
Their IDs.
Yes.
They must be current.
Yes. So the escrow officer asked for their IDs, and Mrs. Smith said, oh, she had left hers in the car, but, you know, it was okay that Mr. Smith had his, and so they were going to go ahead and sign. And the escrow officer said, no, I'm sorry, I can't notarize your signature unless I have your license. And so they said, oh, well, it might be out in the car. We'll go out and get it. So Mr. and Mrs. Smith left, and they never came back because it was not Mrs. Smith who was there to sign in place of Mrs. Smith. Mr. Smith was wanting to sell the property and maybe not let his soon-to-be ex-wife know about it.
Don't you love that? So they thought they were going to sneak in there. Mrs. Mistress or girlfriend was going to sign for the real Mrs., but you guys busted them and you caught them.
Can't get anything past us, Mike.
I know. Can't get anything past you guys. And this stuff actually happens quite a bit, and it's why I always say you guys are the referees of the game.
Yes, Mike. We every now and then we have a little trouble. People don't want to divulge all that information. I mean, I understand it's personal information, but a divorce decree actually tells us if they have the right to sell the property. I mean, what amounts get split, if proceeds get to go to the ex-wife. Texas, unfortunately, is a community property state. So if you owned that property during that time period of marriage, then sorry, the ex-wife has to sign off on it. I mean, usually we've done it where they can sign just the deed and only documents that are needed to be signed by the ex-party. We don't have to do it all at once. We can do separate closings. I mean, they never have to see each other if that's needed. We're always here to help and work it out and accommodate in any way.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can facilitate the process in any number of ways to make it easy for the parties as much as possible. But when they try to sneak something past us, it's really just kind of screws the whole situation up because you guys are going to catch it. Because you guys have to make sure that everything is legal and up to snuff and all the T's are crossed, I's are dotted. And just because they think they can sneak something by, I don't think so.
Yes. And then also with the, it's always easier if they hand over the divorce decree first along with the contract. So then we can start looking at that and get to the information of whether I've had one where Mr. and Mrs. Smith have been divorced long enough, and in their divorce decree, it actually stated he was awarded all of the property. So I didn't need the ex-wife to come and sign, and I mean, that information helps us.
Exactly. And every situation is going to be a little bit different. Every couple is going to have different assets. You know, they may have 4 or 5 properties that they own, and you might have to go through all of them. And each property might have its own stipulations. You know, husband may be receiving the full on 2 of them, and maybe the wife is getting 3, or vice versa, or otherwise. But you guys have to sift through all that and make sure everything's copacetic.
Yes, we do. And it does make our job easier if we're all in communication and all documentation that we ask for is turned over. And I mean, we keep it all personal. Nothing goes out to any other third party. We're our own entity, and we do not divulge or share any of that information.
Absolutely. It's all confidential. And folks, so if the point of the story is, if you think you're going to sneak something by when you're trying to get divorced, it ain't going to work. We're going to figure it out. And you know what? It's just best if you divulge everything up front. Disclose, and then everybody's taken care of. Folks, that's Angela Crane and Brooke Owen of Millennium Title. This has been the Title Talk segment. Websites are millenniumtitle.com and txtitleattorney.com. Phone number 817-310-0136. They will be back next week with more Title Talk. Folks, it's Mike Kruizinga with Inside Real Estate. We'll be back in a few.
America was built by people with a few dollars and a dream. And while many don't know it, there's one path to success that still only requires a dream and about $10. That's right. If your dream is to start or grow your business, something as simple as the right business card could make all the difference. And today at Vistaprint.com, you can get 500 full-color business cards for only $9.99. That's right. Only $9.99. Just go to Vistaprint.com and enter promo code 2222 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 2222. too.
Join Pastor Robert Morris Sundays at 4 p.m. on 570 KLIF as he teaches from the Bible and helps us navigate some of life's toughest subjects. Pastor Robert Morris in Gateway Church, Sunday at 4 p.m. on 570 KLIF.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey folks, Mike Kruizinga here. We are back with Inside Real Estate. That was Title Talk with our folks over at Millennium Title. We were talking about the big D, don't mean Dallas divorce, and a great story from Brooke there. And don't forget, for all your title needs, millenniumtitle.com and txtitleattorney.com. So, if you are going through a divorce right now, if you know somebody that's going through a divorce and they got real estate to dispose of, maybe investment properties that need to be disposed of, get with us, give me a call. We'll get hooked up with Millennium Title, and between the two of us, we will get your properties marketed and sold and disposed of in a quick and professional way. And, of course, we've got our attorney support over at Millennium Title, the best real estate attorneys around. So if you do have a lot of properties, we can get with them, and we'll get you all squared away. Keep in mind, and I've mentioned this before with other stories that I've run into, do not use a real estate agent to help dispose of your marital properties. If you know them, if one of the parties knows them or is related to them, do not do that. Do not fall into the category of those folks that made that mistake by using a relative that was a real estate agent or somebody they knew very closely on either side of the divorce. Guess what? The other person on the other side, hey, money is involved there, and things can happen. Unfortunately, under the table, those situations do happen. If you think they don't, you're sadly naive. So make sure you get an independent real estate agent that does not know either party. If you are in one of those unfortunate situations where you need a divorce and dispose of some property, like I said, if you got caught up in the Ashley Madison deal, well, give us a shout. We will get you all squared away. So I want to get into a little bit of sports, hopefully here in a second. I got a couple things to talk about sports-wise, but I wanted to follow back up on the guaranteed sale. Now, if you heard all of our radio spots on talk radio throughout the week, if you're a big talk radio fan, all the programs and across multiple channels, we do advertise that guaranteed sale program. Yes, that's us, and we do a guaranteed sale program. Now, 9 times out of 10, well, more like 9.999 times out of 10, we're not going to be in a position to need to buy your property because we're very good at what we do. We market your home and get it sold in the time period that we agree upon. But in the off chance that we do not, well, we have an in-house purchasing company at our brokerage that has the ability to purchase your property outright cash, and generally we can get that done in about 10 days that we can get your home bought. Now, when we come out to your house and we look at it and we agree upon a particular time frame to sell your house, not everybody's going to be in the same boat. It depends on the desirability of your particular property and your particular property's neighborhood and location. As we always say, location, location, location. So if it's a great location, that's great. But if you want way too much for it, well, then I can't agree to probably sell it all that quickly. We can absolutely price it at whatever you want to, but if it's way high of market, top-end market value, well, then guess what? That means it's going to sit a little bit longer. That's just the way it is. Now, that's the location and price, obviously, 2 huge factors, but obviously the property is a factor as well. So what's going on in your property? Is it a desirable property? Does it have the amenities that are typical for the neighborhood? Let's say it's a 2-story house, but the master is upstairs. Well, that's less desirable than if the master bedroom was downstairs. That we have to take that into consideration. Have all the updates and amenities been done at your property? If the answer is yes, well, it makes it easier for us to market and sell that property. Does your house have pink carpet, or maybe no carpet at all, or maybe it's got some super old green carpet? Well, yeah, we might have to work on that, and it might take us a little while to get that home sold. So every house, every location is a little bit different, and we can agree upon the right strategy for you. But, it's nice to know that you're working with somebody that can back up the fact that if we can't get it sold in the time that we agree on, guess what? We can get it bought for you. Now, of course, we're not buying these houses to live in ourselves. We've got to put in work to them and turn them around and be able to make a little bit of money off of it as well. So, can we offer you necessarily top-end retail value for your home? No. That's why we're marketing your home for sale to an owner-occupant. That's where retail is. Now, are we going to give you bottom-end wholesale? No, not unless your house is absolutely a wreck. But we can come upon a really good price for you to get your home sold if we need to get to that spot. So, folks, that is the guaranteed sale. So why not go with a brokerage that can back that up? We can't get your home sold. Guess what? We'll make an offer to buy that property from you. So that's the guaranteed sale. You can give us a shout anytime. Go onto the website, Inside Real Estate Radio, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. You can click over to my website. My phone number is there. Text me or otherwise. Don't forget the app, DFW Metroplex Real Estate on Droid or Apple. And, by the way, folks, if you are one of those folks that's got that old green carpet or that old pink carpet, well, Ideal Floors, our new partner of the show, is on board. We're stoked to have them on board. IdealFloors.com is the website. They got multiple locations throughout the DFW area. And just so happens that with that partnership, it gives us the flexibility to come out to your property and say, hey, okay, you've got that old pink carpet, green carpet. Guess what? We need to get that taken care of so we can market your property properly and get it sold quickly. Well, Ideal Floors gives us the ability to give you a 45-day window to get under contract after we get that carpet installed in your property. We get that property installed with all brand new carpet or other flooring. If you like tile or wood laminate, we can do that as well. And guess what? As soon as they install that, we have 45 days to get you under contract. As long as we get you under contract within 45 days, you don't have any out-of-pocket expense. You can cover the expense of that install right at closing, taken out of your proceeds of the sale. So that is absolutely huge for you, our clients. And not only can we do that, but the great thing about Ideal Floors is they are absolutely competitive in getting out there and getting the best supply at the best prices out there. So they can pass that savings on to you folks. Just one of the reasons why we work with them, why we work with the best. So idealfloors.com for all your flooring needs. And by the way, you want to probably give me a call first because we have a special discount set up with Ideal Floors. So go to the website, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. Click over to us and say, hey, we want to get connected with Ideal Floors. We want to get that extra special discount that we have with them. And obviously, if you're selling, we'll take care of you on that side, and you need flooring as well. So also, great thing about the folks at Ideal Floors is they also give back. They have a program called Ideal Floors Gives Back. And so if you know of somebody that is in need of flooring, lower income folks, that absolutely need some flooring. Great thing about Ideal Floors is they take applications right there on the website. So if you know of somebody that needs flooring and they're in dire straits or they're struggling, maybe a single spouse home, single mother or single dad, they need some help, hey, let them know about this program. Ideal Floors Gives Back. Have them either go to the Ideal Floors website to get the application or go to InsideRealEstateRadio.com, get with me, and I will help you navigate that, and we'll see if we can't get them taken care of. And another great reason why we work with those guys. So, folks, that is our new partner, Ideal Floors. Very excited to have them, and Kevin Hamus, the owner, will be back in studio with us in the next 2 weeks, and we're going to be talking a little bit more with him. Let's get into a little bit of sports real quick before we run off into mortgage talk here. We got the Cowboys coming up today. They picked up Matt Castle earlier in the week. So we got a little bit of backup for Wheaton. Wheaton actually played really good last week when he came in. So hopefully he'll keep things going today, and we won't necessarily need Matt Castle, but we do have some decent support behind him if we need it. Injury report, as we know, Dez and Romo are out. Hannah should be back. He's probable. Ronald Leary is going to be questionable. Jason Witten is probable. He's a little bit banged up, but he doesn't usually miss games at all, so he should be in, no problem. And big thing is hopefully we can take care of Julio Jones today. Hopefully we can cover him. Our secondary, I don't know. Sometimes they surprise me. They're really good. Sometimes they're just a wreck. Hopefully we've got a game plan to deal with Julio Jones. I've noticed if we can get if any team can get up on the line on him, obviously close coverage, that usually helps. But with our personnel, we'll just have to see how that goes. Let's how about we get into a little high school football? Let's run through the Metroplex real quick with some high school football numbers, kind of who's on top of their divisions and whatnot. How about Denton Ryan? They're 4-0 over in District 5, 6A. District 6, 6A. Allen, 5-0, 3-0 in district. Plano East just behind at 4-0, 2-0 in their district. Euless Trinity, 5-0 already, 1-0 in district. South Grand Prairie, 4-1, followed by Cedar Hill, which is 4-0, but South Grand Prairie is 1-0 in the district. Cedar Hill, no district games so far. Highland Park's 3-1 on top of their division. Garland 4-1, top of theirs, followed by Rowlett that was at 4-1, 2-0 in the district as well. Denton's up 3-1. Saginaw 3-0, but Denton's 1-0 in the district. What else we got in the all Frisco division is what I like to call it. Frisco Lone Star is on top of pretty much all the other Frisco high schools. They're at 5-0, 3-0 in the district. The only other non-Frisco teams in that division, it's funny, is poor old Little Elm. Little Elm's 0-5. Poor old Little Elm, always getting beat up upon by some Frisco team. And the Colony, they're hanging in there in the middle of the pack. They're 2-3. But you know what? The Colony is 2-1 in district. So they're hanging in there. They're in the middle. Outside of town there, Lovejoy's up 3-1. Forney 5-0. How about you? Forney 5-0, followed by Taro 4-1. Both those teams 2-0 in their district. Down south, Moundsfield, Lake Ridge, you are 5-0. We got 2-0 in your district, followed by Mansfield Summit. You're 5-0 as well. So, and there's a lot of it's down south. It's kind of like it's like Frisco. It's almost the all Mansfield division right there. And Salina's up 5-0. Bridgeport, you're 4-0. And Sainer 5-0, 4-1. Argyle, Kennedale, you're 5-0. Princeton, way out east of McKinney there, you're 4-1. And that kind of rounds out the high school standings for right now. Hey, folks, we're going to be right back with Inside Real Estate. We're going to head on into Mortgage Talk here with Terry Wagner in a few. Come on back.
With decades of experience, the Rocky Martin Supreme Lending Team will work to close your home loan in 30 days or less. With access to the most competitive interest rates, the most financing options, and the most access to down payment assistance programs, the Rocky Martin team won't be beating service to you for all your mortgage needs, including purchase and refinance. Trust RockyMartin.com and his team for their reliable and fast loan process. Go to RockyMartin.com or call 972-772-1866 today.
For housing lender, NMLS ID number 211731, 6730 Horizon Road, Suite B, Heath, Texas 75032. You don't have to go through breast cancer alone. You don't have to race alone either. Tamara Casillas, 2015 Komen Dallas Race for a Cure honorary chair, fought through breast cancer with support from her co-chair, husband, and everyday hero, Tony Casillas. Now she wants you to join her team. Sign up for Team TAM when you register for the Komen Dallas Race for a Cure October 17th at North Park Center. Go to Komen-Dallas.org to register now. Together, we can make a difference.
Our economy is in uncharted waters. This country's debt is at levels never seen before. The global economy is on thin ice, and we have to worry about when interest rates will eventually go up. If you're retired or retiring soon and can't afford a loss like 2008, Protect yourself now. Don't miss the free Money Matters Retirement Seminar. 7 p.m. Tuesday, October 6th, Hilton Garden Inn, Fort Worth Medical District. 1 p.m. or 7 p.m. Thursday, October 8th in the Money Matters building in Plano. Reserve at moneymatters.net. That's moneymatters.net or call 800-994-0302.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey folks, Mike Kruizinga here. We're back with Inside Real Estate. The website is InsideRealEstateRadio.com, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. And we've got Terry Wagner in studio from Supreme Lending Rockwall, the Rocky Martin team. Website RockyMartin.com, Rocky with an IE, RockyMartin.com. And Terry, welcome on in, and let's get into mortgage talk.
Good morning, Mike.
So what all we got today? Are we talking some self-employed?
Right. Thought we would cover a little bit of self-employed income and how we come about the income, the qualifying income that we can use when you're self-employed, because I know that gets a little confusing. It's not like in the old days when we could use pretty much anything we wanted for your income.
That's right.
We have some guidelines that we have to follow that are pretty strict. You can be self-employed and basically do any loan type. You can do conventional, FHA, VA, USDA. That's not the concern. The biggest concern is how long have you been self-employed? Generally, we want to see at least 2 years self-employed. There are exceptions. If you have 1 year self-employment, there's a different underwriting process that we can do, and sometimes we can get away with just 1 year. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to need the 2 years self-employed income for us to use and qualify you from.
Okay.
If you own 25% of the business or more, or you receive 1099 income, that's where we're going to derive your self-employed income from. And of course, we're going to need to see your tax returns. That's where we're going to get the income from.
Right.
And a lot of folks, just like most people, when you're self-employed, you're taking all the deductions that you can possibly take.
Absolutely.
And in a lot of instances, we see that big dreaded negative number there.
Correct.
For your Schedule C income. And if it's a negative number, for the most part, we're not going to be able to do a loan immediately. Maybe something that we can do where we can guide and direct for the next year's tax returns, but we need that number a positive number. So we're going to look at the tax returns for the last 2 years. We're going to take all of the Schedule C income is the one that we're really going to take a look at. One thing to note is if you change how you're filing your tax returns. So in other words, if you change from sole proprietor to an S corporation mid-year, can't use that. We have to take the incorporated date and go from there. So you kind of start over again.
Right.
So just a little side note there. So when we go to analyze your source of income, we're going to look at, again, the 2 years. And then we're going to take the lesser, as we calculate your income, the average gross as earned over the previous 2 years, or the average gross as earned over the most recent year. So what that means is if your income for 2014 tax returns was less than 2013, we're going to average the 2014 because that's the lesser of the two.
Okay.
So that's a good thing to note. We're also going to take a look at your business trends. If there is a one-time occurrence that caused either an increase or a decrease in income, we're looking for the stability of that income is really what we're looking for.
Right.
So if you had a one-time occurrence, you lost a big account due to some unforeseen circumstances, but then was able to replace it with another, but there was some loss in there, we take that into consideration. Okay, so we need to know all the details of the ups and downs of your business, basically.
Right.
We're going to look at business trends. We're also going to look, did you relocate your business from one state to another, or from one part of Texas to another? That plays into it as well. The time of year that it is, we're also going to need to see your profit and loss statement for this year. Unfortunately, in my opinion, as a loan officer, I think we ought to be able to use this, but we can't use that income. So if you've got an increase for 2015 over 2014, that's great. But we can't use that as averaging. We're still looking at 13 and 14.
Right.
Okay. So that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, and it's unfortunately, and this is kind of an area it's very frustrating as a real estate agent, because we run into so many self-employed people, especially here in Texas. We're big on small business here in Texas. Whether it's the plumber, and he may be running a small plumbing company, or any tradesman of any type, and even tech companies that are very small, but they're doing very well. These folks are self-employed. We all operate our taxes in a way that gives us the least amount of taxes that we're going to have to pay every year.
Sure.
We have a tax system that allows us to take advantage of as many deductions really as there are possible, and we all do that. And so, unfortunately, a lot of these guys are going to fall into the category of having losses on their tax returns.
Right.
And ever since the crash, that's been a real problem, because I've got so many people that come to me that are self-employed. And right away we find out that they're going to be in that situation. Hopefully, we're going to find a program, in the lending industry at some point that's going to take care of these people, because it's a huge piece of the population that we are not covering right now due to what happened in the crash. And honestly, what happened in the crash has nothing to do with these hardworking, self-employed people that are making anywhere from, say, $50,000 to $250,000 a year.
Right.
But they have a loss on their tax return, and that keeps them from getting a house.
Well, and it's important, Mike, to make sure that you're talking to the right loan officer, just like when you're talking to the right real estate agent. That tax return is not just that bottom dollar. There are a lot of other numbers that we can take a look at, possibly add back in. So you want to make sure that you're talking with a company, Supreme Lending, as someone who knows what they're doing and what they're looking at when they look at your last 2 tax returns.
Absolutely.
That's extremely important.
Yeah, we need to make sure we get them with you, get them with a veteran that knows how to bring things in and out. If we can get them alone, we're going to get them alone, and we're going to get them into a house.
Correct. And we're going to take a look, like I mentioned before, we're going to take a look at, if it's not something we can do immediately, then how can we set up next year's taxes, the first part of January, February? How can we set that up so that we can be of assistance first part of next year? Right. So we don't just say, oops, sorry, can't help you. You're self-employed. You don't have the income necessary to buy.
Yeah, and for folks that are self-employed out there, we may have to, like Terry says, restructure how you're going to file your taxes for 1 to 2 years to get you a loan, to get you a mortgage. After that, do whatever the heck you want. You can go back to running your business however you want to run it, but temporarily, to get a mortgage in this day and age, unless you're talking about going hard money, this is what we're going to need to do is probably get with Terry and have you restructure how your taxes are filed.
And a lot of folks that file self-employed taxes, they still have W-2 income. Well, we can use that too. Mm-hmm. One little caveat to that, though, is we can use the last 2 years W-2s, but we can't use your year-to-date paycheck stub on. So if you've bumped your income because you're going to buy a house, I still can't use that. Right. I have to use the W-2s for the last 2 years, and we average those.
Right.
Okay.
So, self-employed folks, there's hope. I mean, there's a lot of options for you, but that's why we work with the best. We'll figure out your situation, and if we can't do it right now, it's not a no forever. It's just a no right now. But we're going to give you all the advice that you need to get you in a situation so maybe a year from now, year and a half from now, we can get you into a home. And it's just something you're going to have to address if you are self-employed and you derive the majority of your income from that. Now, if you have a spouse that's on a W-2, a different story.
Right.
We can get covered under that. However, your purchasing power is cut in half, unfortunately. It's going to be solely based upon the spouse that has W-2 income.
Right. We just, again, I can't reiterate enough the importance of using someone who knows what they're doing when you can't just go out there and pick the first person that you know or maybe that was recommended to you to do your mortgage loan. It's a complex transaction, and you need to be dealing with someone that knows what they're doing and knows what they're looking at when they're looking at your tax returns. It's not just what's your adjusted gross income. There's much more to it than that.
Exactly.
If you have rental income, what if you have rental income? Is it a loss? But is there stuff we can add back in? Lots of plus and minuses in those columns, and we need to be able to take a look at those.
Absolutely. All your assets come into play there, everything that you've got to potentially get you into a loan. And you're right. We run into, people and you're like, well, how did you get a hold of them? Because we hear these horror stories all the time, whether it's with a real estate agent or with a mortgage professional. And, we talked about it before. How did you pick somebody? And they picked one agent on the internet because they had pretty hair. I mean, seriously, folks, you need to put some time and effort into this. We've got Terry Wagner right here, an absolute veteran of the mortgage industry. Hello, she's on radio. She's an expert. She's throwing information at you nonstop if you're listening. This is an expert. This is who you want to do business with. Same with JC and insurance. Same with myself and real estate. Take advantage of our knowledge and expertise in the industry, and don't just pick some random person off the street. There's 15,000 real estate agents in the DFW area. Are they the expert that you want to work with? I don't know. And there's a heck of a lot of loan officers out there too, but we work with the best. What else to wrap that up, Terry, on this self-employed topic? And I know we were going to try to get to some of the new regulations coming out next Saturday on the 3rd. Why they picked Saturday, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I don't.
What are they trying to sneak over on us? Putting it out on a Saturday.
I don't think they're necessarily. I don't know where they picked that date out of the wind from.
Especially because it's my birthday.
Yeah, there you go. Happy birthday to Mike.
Thank you.
I do think. I would like to spend some time talking about that maybe next time that I come.
Absolutely.
Because I think with all of us in the industry, we're all panicked about these changes that are coming. But it's really some good changes for the borrower.
Right. So we want to boil it down to when you come in next time, how is it going to impact the consumer?
Right.
In positive, negative, etc.
Right. We definitely want to talk about that because it's going to provide information to them that's a lot clearer than what they're seeing right now. We answer so many questions about what we're providing them that it just really doesn't make sense. But the new forms and the new regulations are going to help make sense out of all of that.
Sounds good. Looking forward to that. Folks, it's been Terry Wagner with Supreme Lending Rockwall, part of the Rocky Martin team. Website, RockyMartin.com, Rocky with an I-E, Martin.com. Phone number where they're always standing by, 866-607-5667. Folks, it's Mike Kruizinga with Inside Real Estate. We will see you next Sunday, 8 a.m. As always, InsideRealEstateRadio.com is the website. We'll see you next week. Neither the hosts nor the guests or contributors of the show Inside Real Estate with Mike Kruizinga are attorneys, CPAs, tax advisors, or investment 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 advisors.